Well, my friends, welcome back to my yet another video. This is the third video, and there will be more coming in the future. Before I deal with my next class, I have a piece of advice for you. I'm dealing with English in detail, in considerable detail. So I advise you to keep a notebook with you and take notes and practice. Practice is critical here. If you want to improve English, if you want to raise your standard of your language, then you need to practice it. Practice is the key here. All right. And also, I would like to tell you that if I'm not a computer to remember all pieces of information. So if I miss any information, I will definitely deal with that in the next class. So before I start my next class about in spite of, despite, in spite of the fact that, despite the fact that, but and however, I just want to pass another information about although, though, and even though. I discussed those three expressions in considerable detail in the last class, in the first class, but I just forgot to tell you that you might have a doubt where there may be two sentences to be connected by although, though, and even though. You might have a doubt where, with which part of the sentence you must add although, though, and even though. That's what I'm going to tell you now. For example, he played well, full stop. He was defeated. He played well, full stop. He was defeated. There are two sentences here. We can see that there is a contrast. Okay, he played well, full stop. What happened? Instead of victory, he played well. If one plays well, usually victory comes with him, okay, comes with that person. But what happened was he was defeated. Something opposite happened. Something surprising, something unexpected happened. That unexpected or surprising fact is called contrast. Okay, so the contrast here is he was defeated. Okay, so with which part of these two sentences you must add although, though, and even though? You must add those three expressions with the sentence which is not expressing contrast. This is showing contrast. Okay, this is he was defeated is showing contrast. Then this is the other sentence, and with this one you must add although, though, and even though. Just look at this. Although he played well, comma, he was defeated. Did you understand what I told you? There may be two sentences in the example. One may be a normal idea. He played well is a normal idea, and he was defeated is surprising idea, or which is a contrast. So you must add although, though, and even though to the idea which is not showing contrast. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so our sentence is like this: although he played well, he was defeated. Or even though he played well, he was defeated. Though he played well, he was defeated. All right, he had good marks, full stop. He did not get admission. Look at this. There are two sentences here. One sentence is definitely showing a contrast here. Which sentence is showing the contrast? He had good marks. He did not get admission. This sentence is showing contrast here. If you get good marks, usually you get admission, but something unexpected or surprising is happening here, and that is he did not get admission. So you must add although, though, and even though to this idea, because this is the idea which is not showing contrast. This is showing contrast and this is not showing contrast. This is a normal idea. So you should add those three expressions to this normal idea. Okay, so our sentence will be: although he had good marks, comma, he did not get admission. Is that clear? Okay. Well, in this class we are going to discuss in spite of, despite, in spite of the fact that, despite the fact that, but, and however. You know, all these expressions are showing contrast. All these expressions are showing contrast. But the application is different. You have to be very careful when you use these expressions in your sentences. Okay, the rule is that after in spite of or despite, in spite of, this is three words. Okay, in, some gap, spite, some gap, then of, then despite. After despite there is no of. You can note that there is no of. So in spite of and despite. After these two expressions you should write a noun form or a pronoun, pronouns like this or that or what clause or something like that, pronoun or an ing form. So after in spite of or despite, you must write a noun form or a pronoun or an ing form of a verb. Okay, then after in spite of the fact that, we are adding the fact that, an additional expression to in spite of, then you get in spite of the fact that. All right, or you are adding the fact that, you are adding the fact that to despite, and you get despite the fact that. After these two expressions you must write a clause. Okay, similarly you must write a clause with or after but and however. So after in spite of the fact that, despite the fact that, but and however, you must write a clause. Do you get that? After though, although and even though, you must write a clause. After in spite of and despite, you must write a noun form or a pronoun or an ing form. After these four expressions you must write a clause. What is a clause? Yesterday or in the last class I was talking about simple, complex and compound sentences, and I discussed the main clause and subordinate clause, and before that I told you what a clause is, what a clause looks like. A clause must have a subject and a verb. What is a clause? A clause in English must have a subject and a verb. Always remember that, a subject and a verb. This is a clause. So whenever I mention clause, you should always remember subject plus verb structure. All right, okay. Now we are going to deal with these expressions through different examples. First, I will write two split sentences with contrast, and then we will connect those sentences using these expressions. First, we are going to deal with in spite of and despite. I'm going to write two sentences. It was raining, full stop. We enjoyed our holiday, full stop. Do you see a contrast here? Definitely there is a contrast. It was raining, something opposite happened after that. We enjoyed our holiday. We usually can't enjoy our holiday in rain. So it was raining, full stop. We enjoyed our holiday. Now we are going to apply in spite of or despite to connect these two sentences. Okay, how shall we do that? We have to, the rule says that we have to use only a noun form or a pronoun or an ing form. Okay, now what is the noun form of raining? The noun form of raining is rain. All right, now just write like this: in spite of rain, comma, there must be a comma after that phrase. This is not a clause, it's just a phrase. What's a phrase? What's the difference between a clause and a phrase? A clause must have a, I have many times I have told you that a clause must have a subject and a verb, and that will have some kind of meaning. That will have some kind of meaning. But a phrase is a group of words, without full meaning. it won't have full meaning. So just look at this. In spite of rain, there is no subject, there is no verb, it's just a group of words, and there is no full meaning for that. All right, so in spite of rain, comma, we enjoyed our holiday. Look at this sentence. We have written the sentence like this: in spite of rain, comma, we enjoyed our holiday. It's showing contrast. You can put despite in the place of in spite of, despite, but remember there is no of after despite. Despite rain, we enjoyed our holiday. We can also write the same sentence in this way: we enjoyed our holiday in spite of rain, or despite rain. We enjoyed our holiday in spite of rain or despite rain, or in spite of rain we enjoyed our holiday. It means that we can either put in spite of phrase at the beginning of a sentence or at the end of a sentence. At the beginning of a sentence or at the end of a sentence. All right, look at the next example. In the example, in spite of rain, we have written a noun form. All right, okay. In the next example, I had all the necessary qualifications, full stop. I did not get the job. You can see that there is a contrast. I had all the necessary qualifications, but what happened? What happened was I did not get the job. Something opposite happened. So we are going to connect these two sentences using in spite of or despite. Here, what you can do is you can find the verb here. What's the verb here? Verb is had. And what is the base form of had? It is have. Okay, have. And you can just add ing form to have. It will be having. All right, now the sentence will be in spite of having all the necessary qualifications, comma, I did not get the job. Our original sentence was I had all the necessary qualifications, full stop, I did not get the job. Our answer is, after applying in spite of here in the sentence, in spite of having. How did you get having here? Ing form of the verb. You added ing to the base form of had, which is have. All right, and it will be having. In spite of having all the necessary qualifications, comma, I did not get the job. You can put despite in the place of in spite of. You get the same answer. Despite having all the necessary qualifications, I did not get the job. There is no change in meaning. All right, if you want, you can put the main portion first and this one at the end. I did not get the job in spite. Since it's a lengthy sentence, I'm not going to write it. I'm just saying for your information, I did not get the job in spite of having all the necessary qualifications. Or you can say, I did not get the job despite having all the necessary qualifications. Always remember, I have already told you, you must write only a noun form or a pronoun or an ing form after in spite of or despite. I said many things yesterday. I still love you. I have written two sentences here. I said many things yesterday, full stop, I still love you. All right, there is a contrast here. I said many things yesterday, full stop, I still love you. Now we are going to connect these two sentences this way. In spite of what I said yesterday, I still love you. In spite of what I said yesterday, I still love you. All right, or you can write despite what I said yesterday, I still love you. Or you can put that portion, the main portion first. I still love you despite what I said yesterday, or in spite of what I said yesterday. All right, so we have written a noun form. In the previous example, which I have erased, we applied a noun form after in spite of or despite. In this example, we applied having an ing form, and in this example we applied the use of what. Okay, in spite of what I said yesterday. Even if you see subject and a verb here, this is in total, this is a phrase. Okay, because of the use of what with I said yesterday, this is totally a phrase. So in spite of what I said yesterday, comma, I still love you. All right, you should never write, you just look at this example. If you write a sentence like this, in spite of I had all the necessary qualifications, comma, I did not get the job. Is this sentence right? Is this sentence right? This sentence is wrong. Why? Because after in spite of, I wrote a clause. Look at this. This is subject, this is verb, and till qualifications. From I till qualifications, the sentence is a clause. So you should never write a clause. If you write in spite of I had all the necessary qualifications, your answer will be wrong. All right. So instead of that, what should you do? In spite, after in spite of, you should change had into having, and you got the answer. In spite of having all the necessary qualifications, I did not get the job. All right. So you should never write a clause after in spite of or despite. Okay, is that clear? Look at the next example. He is a teacher. He is a teacher. Full stop. No one respects him. No one respects him. Definitely there is a contrast here. Now we are going to apply in spite of or despite. How is that possible? You should before applying in spite of or despite, you should know the verb in this sentence. All right. What is the verb? The verb is. And what is the base form of is? The base form of is be. And you just add ing to be. Then you get being. And the answer will be in spite of being a teacher, comma, no one respects him. In spite of being a teacher, comma, no one respects him. Or you can say despite being a teacher, no one respects him. Or you can say no one respects him in spite of being a teacher. No one respects him despite being a teacher. Is that clear?